This StreamYard talking crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a episode of Conrad's Corner, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're doing. East meets West, Detroit Pistons preseason edition. We are gonna recap the game from earlier, Pistons versus Suns. Kevin Durant, I still ain't forgot you talking about. Oh, it's just Detroit. I ain't forgot about that. But you can get traded here if you want to though. Um, yeah. So just looking at game two of our preseason for the Detroit Pistons. Um, where would you like to start? Because you know where I'm going. You know straight where I'm going. I'm going straight to Ivy and
Oh,
Duran. I'm going straight to Ivy and Duran if I start.
okay. Why don't you start then?
Well, for
Because
what
I
I've
seem to be
seen,
the negative one lately. So why don't
no,
we
that's
start
not
this
negative.
this
You
recap
are,
off with some? No, let's start this recap off with
ladies,
some
ladies and
positivity. Go
gentlemen.
ahead. Go ahead.
Conrad is a scout, so don't let him make you feel like he's being negative. He's calling out observations that he actually sees. He is a legit scout, so don't sleep on that fact. He just doesn't tout it. He doesn't blow his own horn, but I'm gonna do that right now. Um, but what I seen from Ivy, and just based on what you were saying, like from the game one pod, you wanted to see him do a little bit more point guard things. Now, I seen it in moments. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it's a few times he had to like reset because I guess it's gonna come along eventually. But um, I just like what I seen from him, man. Like his confidence is crazy right now. Like, and he just seems like a blur right now. And so I'm just loving his game because it's exciting. You know what I mean? Um, and to see some of the things he was doing on the floor was pretty good. You know what I mean? Like I just liked it. Shooting those threes with confidence like that from like damn near almost 30, or wasn't one of them threes from 30? Like 28 for sure. One of that long three he made, which is where I came in at coming from
Yes.
work. But like, man, like seeing him do what he was doing, and then I mean, everybody kind of knows Cade at this point. Like I seen a couple tweets about it. Like I kind of even said it on the last pod where Cade kind of starts off slow. He sees where everybody needs to be, and then he plugs himself in. You know what I mean? Like he waits until that moment, which is a sign of leadership to me. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it lets me know that he is truly a point guard in his mind. You know what I mean? It's not, oh, I'm me, let me get mine first. It's like, okay, let me see what's going on. Let me see how they need to get the ball, where they need to get the ball. And then once the season, around the time the season begins, I'll know what spots I can pick. You know what I mean? So, for people that's like, Cade only scored three, he didn't need to score. He and Ivy accounted for what was that graphic? 32 points, like after halftime, was it, or something like that, or was it the first? No, it wasn't the first quarter. It was at some point in the second or at
I
halftime.
mean, the two of them alone had 12 assists combined at
Mm,
halftime. So you
yeah,
say 3 points for Cade. He finished with 8 assists.
yeah,
Only one
yeah.
turnover. He had a very good command of the game, a
Yes, he
control
did.
command.
He did.
So I mean, I understand. Yeah, I'm with you. I understand what people are saying. But his one score was
With the dunk.
nice fucking like thunder dunk,
Hmm.
just down the lane, So hey, right, we talked about that. He has it in his bag.
Yeah,
He's selective of when he
yeah.
uses it, but it's
Especially
there,
right now.
you know. Because I mean, that's
Hmm.
just not like, oh, oh. Actually, dude, he jammed on Plumlee. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like he
Hmm.
did. He posterized him. So don't
Yeah.
don't get it twisted. This was not like like a layup, open court dunk. You're saying.
Yeah.
So anyway, continue.
Oh
The
yeah. I
things that you
mean,
liked from early in the game, or
yeah. We know where Cade is at. Like I don't need him to score. That's why I said I like the look of leadership from him to be able to take a step back, not look to score, not look to implement himself too early. I think the game plan right now is for them to figure out the rotations and figure out where everybody wants to be, where they're best, giving the ball at, and just go from there. Build Ivy's confidence. I like the game from Duran today. He looked way more active than he did in game one. Um, so I'm actually happy to see that, and I like the shots that Beasley took. You know what I mean in this game. Like I think that
yeah,
Cade and that's what I mean about Cade. Like he was really selective in allowing things to kind of go for themselves, and a little bit let Ivy kind of have a little bit of control. You know what I mean? Like let him kind of have some things going on. Because I think this team is right now two-tone. Like we haven't seen Tobias. That probably at a third level to it. Yeah, because I feel like Cade is paced, controlled, and he doesn't make you rush him. Whereas Ivy, if he's got the ball, it's like, boom, I'm running this way. Boom, oh, I'm about to throw it over here. I'm about to bounce pass right here. Like it's something that you don't expect. With Cade, uh, you just you don't know what he's gonna do. You know what I mean? You don't know if he's gonna
Yeah.
come to the paint, throw it out. You don't know if he's gonna come to the paint, dig in on you, fade. You don't know if he's gonna come to the paint, turn around, try to finish on you, or you know what I mean, or try to take you off. You just don't know. Ivy is like drive and kick or just drive. You know what I mean? Right now, and right now, shoot. Like I like that fader that I seen from him, and I liked his confidence from three. So just seeing those players, pretty much the core, those three, and just seeing what like Beasley was doing, seeing Fontecchio actually in the open floor, was impressive because I know he's still developing as well too. And seeing him get up and down, like it was like, okay, what I thought of him last season was more of a slower kind of player, but
Right.
that's sleeping on him. You know what I mean? So I again love that deal that we made with Utah for him because just seeing his shooting acumen and now seeing him try to like attack a little bit more is letting me know that some things, the wheels are turning with this team this
Yeah.
season, and I'm seeing what like better in 2 games now. That's probably comparable to the 2 regular season games that we won to open last season. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that, and then not having our Saw right now, but having Ron Holland out here doing his thing, and being more controlled, immediately more controlled. You know, he's looking as if he's starting to already transition to 1 year of control with how he went from the first half of last game to how he just was overall in this game. You know what I mean? Like is instead of being bullheaded, like, you know, no diss to you, Marcus Sasser, but like Marcus Sasser was last year, like just, oh, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. And even he's more controlled now too. So I just think pretty much what I'm seeing from this team is control. And I feel like the only reason we lost the first half, which is what mattered to me, is because we ended up in a shootout with Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. To be honest, like it was like we were going tit for tat. You know what I mean? And they went out. You know, they kept hitting those threes, and it was nothing we could do about that. And that's something that I mentioned in the last episode is we need to have good 3-point defense. That's if there's something that's sorely, it's like an eyesore to me. That's what it is. Everything else, I see the development with us.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. So I think that will end our what we liked segment. No, actually, I don't know. Before we move on to maybe things that we didn't like or things that we really need to keep an eye out on.
It's time, y'all. Khan's corner.
Oh no. Well, fine for my corner.
Pull out the popcorn.
I actually like. Yeah, I'm with you. I liked this performance from Ivy better than the other one. Because like I said, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not there with you and other fans. Like, I don't believe I'm not seeing a different player in Jaden Ivey. You can convince me. You could sell me on he's playing with more confidence, and if that for you makes him a different player, then okay, I'll go with that. But in terms of like from that first game, against Milwaukee, like I said, he didn't show me anything he isn't already capable of doing, like he hasn't done already. That's actually a good thing. That's not a knock, Today is, like I said, he showed a lot more of, what I was hoping to see, moving forward. Right actually out of the gate, they had like a couple plays where, he takes a down screen and then, drives the lane. But then I love what he did, right? It wasn't just like attacking the lane. He understood to get rid of that ball a step early and to turn his, his drive to the lane into a front screen. And then boom, right? You got Durant now just wide open, right? For like a dunk on the on the right block. It's things like that, You know, um,
that we
not
didn't
again,
see.
not that he's not unselfish, right? It's just again, right? Like you're still an alpha scorer, right? But still serving as like a connective player, right? Like
Right.
you can't all just start and end with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Because again, like in contrast, not that it makes Cade better, but I agree with you. Cade definitely has the mindset of a point guard. He's making a concerted effort to try to get others going before he gets himself going, which sometimes you got to find that fine balance,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But like a lot of like things like with Cade, once he does start get going, is like he might make the initial pass and set you up, but then he's gonna put himself in position where, hey, like the ball may find me again, and then boom, I'm even in a better position to score on my own. Those are the things I want to see from Ivy. I saw a lot more of that today. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
This becomes consistent, it becomes habitual, then yes, then I
It
feel
will.
comfortable having him being the starting shooting guard, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. Duran, again, and if I say this, it's because it's coming from a place of respect. He didn't show me anything he hasn't shown me before, which
Right.
is okay. It's fine. It's only
Just
preseason
just
game
his
2.
level of aggressiveness today.
You
It
know,
was more. Yeah.
we'll get to
What?
that. We'll get to that. So in terms of things I like, and then going back to what we said in the Milwaukee Bucks preseason game recap, you know, Beasley's knocking down more shots than THJ, you know. But for the most part, they're both as advertised. Like I said, the types of looks that they're creating, even if they're not creating it on their own, right? They're not creating off the dribble, right? Their movement off ball to get in to identify the open pockets of space, like you technically can create your own shot by moving off the ball, and they do that. You know,
Mhm.
I'd have to believe. I think THJ has only made one 3-pointer between the first 2 games, right? So I
Mhm.
think he's like 1 of 9 from 3 for the first 2 preseason games, right? You believe his body of work, that'll come around.
Yeah.
Malik Beasley has just been knocking down open jumpers, and that's what you need him to do, you
Right.
know. So that's good. Um, let's move on to the things that weren't as good. Okay. And I'm
Mhm.
glad that you brought it up. Um, nobody's panicking. It's preseason game 2. Let's make it clear.
Yeah.
Nobody's panicking about anything. But I do think the 3-point defense is somewhat
Atrocious.
concerning. Somewhat concerning. I take pride, in the way my wording, right?
Yeah.
Part of me thinks it's okay. I look at what they're doing and I try to figure out, or I try to assess, is it a schematic problem, right? Like, is their strategy, right? Their defensive scheme, is that the issue? Or is it a personnel issue? Like, we just, obviously you could do you could sit on the fence and say it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But I think there is an inherent systemic problem in the way that they're defending. And this is where, again, okay, because I expect so much from him, I'm putting some of the, I'm putting a lot of this on Jalen Duren.
Okay.
Uh, the Suns and even the Bucks, right? But the Suns, okay, like you can say, hey, wait, whoa, we had Durant, Beal, Booker, you know what I'm saying, like, and Tyus Jones. This is,
Right.
with the exception of Yusuf Nurkic, right? This is their projected starting lineup. So hey, cool, right? Like,
Right.
you expect them to be an explosive offense and difficult to contain, but the Pistons keep getting burned on like split action,
Mhm.
right? And it's not even just at the nail, right? Like, if you do it anywhere like beyond the mid post,
Mhm.
like Duran finds himself in no man's land. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because why is it that there's always someone scrambling, right? Because
For
sometimes it's
that
bad
3.
defensive principles, right? It's bad defensive principles where it's like, okay, right, like we want to crash the paint, on whoever's on ball, and then because you do that maybe too soon too early in the possession, that guy can still kick it out. Someone's inevitably open in the corners on the wing, and then boom, it's an open three.
Right.
That's not what's happening. That is not what's happening with the Pistons, right?
Mhm.
Like, they're having a problem containing the paint between like the baseline and the mid post.
Okay.
Like, it's just an empty void. That is a problem. And now I see a lot of guys identifying it and scrambling over. But when they do that, then you see what I'm saying? It's not because they're trying to overhelp. There actually is a gap there. And this is where I'm saying, right, what I said in our last episode, we really need to see Jalen Duren like own the paint. Like, that is on him. That has to be his responsibility.
Right.
And if that is like a big task, like, tough, like, until further notice, you are like, he is the best guy suited to do it. You know what I'm saying? We have reason to believe he can. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if he doesn't figure that out, like, it's just going to keep happening. Right. Now, having said that, of course, right? Like, and again, like I said, there are other moments where it's like, okay, definitely Beasley, definitely THJ, like, they're horrible. Like, they're pretty bad. But again,
that's part of it.
again, you could look at it one of two ways. They do try.
Yeah.
I'm going to reiterate that from the last episode. They try. They don't have very good instincts.
Right.
A lot of them, even at times, Jaden Ivey, if there was a couple knocks on him today, Jaden Ivey, Cade, they ball watch way too much. And they don't turn their head until the pass has been made.
Right.
And the pass is to a guy who's wide open. And it's really embarrassing, too, if you think about it. Again, right? Like, it's one thing if you don't see it, like a guy, because your back's turned to him, a guy pops up open in the weak side corner. But like, if the guy is wide open in the short corner, you've been looking at him the entire time.
Right.
Like, how did you not rotate? Like, how is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really disappointing.
And they overcommit too much. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen like Duren sit back too much when he should have been playing up. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've seen Ivey leak off on like Kevin Durant at the 3-point line, trying to like you said, they're trying to crash the paint. You know what I mean? But it's like you said, Duren has to own the defense. He has to. Like, he has to. It's his motor has to be everlasting, pretty much. For that. You know what I mean? And this is where my whole random left field theory of throw Isaiah Stewart at the 3 comes in, because it's like then you have somebody who's, I mean, it'll be more defense on the floor. You'll stop the ball handler if he's guarding a ball handler anyway.
No, he can't defend on the perimeter.
I mean, it's just a big body. You know what I mean? I trust him more than I trust Malik Beasley, THJ, and Ivey.
He's like not a cone, but like one of like those like cinder block barriers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
even worse.
Yeah, like, he's
not
gonna
man.
move,
I don't know.
but
I don't know. I mean, it's more to it though. Like, it's some intimidation factor with that. It's some strength factor. Like, if you playing against somebody like Luka, yeah, he's gonna cook your ass, but Luka's not gonna body Stewart. But he'll easily slot like Malik Beasley. Here, little short jump shot. THJ, whatever. But if it's Stewart. Not saying that I want to see that happen, but that's just me throwing my theory of Stewart at the 3 or guarding those players like out there. That's why I throw it out there. Because
no, he'll get killed.
If it's not our star,
he'll get killed. It looks worse right now because Tobias and Asar aren't playing. That will definitely change things. But again, like, the defense loses if they're even at the top of their game. They're losing defensive integrity, right? Because again, like, there are too many open gaps in the paint that just can't happen.
Yeah.
Because now it's becoming more apparent to me, right? Like, guys are just having a free lane, like, That can't happen. That can't happen. Other than that, because going back to it, um, again, fuck the emotion, fuck the intimidation factor. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, this is now pure math because not the Suns not only attempted, they more than doubled up the number of 3-point attempts than the Pistons in the first half. So not only did they attempt more, right? They were actually knocking them down at a better clip than the Pistons. See, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, I've always told, like, you know, when I'm like coaching young players, like, you could do everything right. So it's 24-second shot clock. You could do everything right for like 23 seconds, right? But the other guy, he just doesn't want the 24-second violation. You just randomly hoist it up. It might go in, you know, that's going to happen, you know, understandable. But so what I'm saying is you may not be able to, you know, stop a good 3-point shooter from knocking down threes, but you could definitely limit the number of attempts he takes. And that is something they have not shown to do. Now, again, I said concern, panic. Those are two different words, right? Because again, like this has to become habitual. This has to become habitual. And as JB Bickerstaff said afterwards, right? You're like, yes, development, but again, we want to develop into a good defensive team.
Yeah.
You know, if they're going to be successful, right? That has to become instinctual, has to become second nature. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just the guys on the wing, right? Like it's all
over
interconnected. Yeah.
No,
I'm saying
all over.
You can't guard the wing if you don't, right? You can't guard the wing, right?
If you don't
like
guard the
straight
paint
up, or like you cannot be stout on the perimeter if you're leaky inside. You know, it's all interconnected. So that's what I'm saying. Turnovers were an issue, and they're like the bad kind of turnovers, which I don't like. You know,
it'll get ironed out. It'll get ironed out, though. I believe so, because I don't know. We see this. We see it. I respect your perspective because you're the scout, but just from seeing, if I look at the last 3 seasons, we went from Casey, who actually had us pretty good on defense, decent enough to be in games, to win games against like the Celtics, the Lakers, teams that are like the Warriors. I think we won a game. Like we beat teams that were like doing their thing. Last season was a cluster. You know, everybody except Cade really, and probably Cade. Asar was a highlight. Stewart, when he wasn't injured and he started making more threes, like at a higher clip, was a highlight. Everything else was trash. I mean, Duran was a highlight too. I'll give him that. Everything else was trash. Like defense was trash. That's why we went on 28-game losing streak. And I just feel like now, the reason I say we'll iron it out and I'll be quick is just because we have a new coach. He might be implementing new things, and they might not have had that type of, you know what I mean, thing going on with Monty. Like, who knows how much he was actually preaching on defense. And that's really all. Because the reason that's why I'm like high on Ivy, because I seen Ivy year 1 just going crazy with Casey. Then I seen Monty come in and say, no, you're going to sit down. You know what I mean? And then it's like, so I seen Duran get off last year, but then he's had games where it's like, are you going to get that board? Are you going to rush for that? Are you going to hustle? And it's like, so it's certain things that I hope JB, and that's why I'm hoping that it'll get ironed out, that he's implementing these things, and maybe they're just going through the go through, you know what I mean, like of adjusting to him. So go ahead, hit him, coach.
Yeah. No, I mean, you gotta stop comparing to Monty. Like if you can acknowledge JB is different, then no. I'm looking at this team not necessarily as a blank slate, but I'm looking at a bunch of players with individual talents, you know? So, I mean, like, I don't care about, like, Jaden Ivey's lulls under Monty, you know?
Yeah.
What does it fucking matter?
Not even just him.
That's what I'm saying?
Just everybody.
No. But again, right, like, take away the narratives. I know you like a good story, but no, take away all that stuff. Look
Oh
at the
no, I
X's
don't
and
like.
O's.
I hate narratives. Actually,
You
I hate
know,
them. That's it. Actually made me get
um,
away from the game for a little bit from the
no,
NBA side
because
anyway.
whatchamacallit?
Yeah,
Um, part of
Monty
it I do
did.
agree is about developing chemistry.
Yeah,
I will not dismiss that or downplay that. But again, there are certain actions that they continue to run. Like, okay, they have like their base sets,
hmm
right? Where, like, for example, Duran will kind of be camped out on the opposite low block of wherever Kate is, you know,
hmm
and basically has two options here, right? It's going to become either he's, step up and you're in the dunker spot, right? If not, you know, you set basically kind of like a chin screen and like Kate's gonna zip it around him, to whoever's behind Duran in the corner. Um how do I describe this? When whatever they want to do is blown up, they kind of default to like their bad tendencies. That is what I was getting at, you know, which is what I'm saying. Yes, they need to kind of begin to develop a little bit more rapport about what they can each individually do well. Because again, right, shot clock's expiring, you got to make something happen. But too often, their turnovers are they don't know what they're doing, or they're only committed to doing one thing and they're just running into traffic. You know,
right.
happened a lot to Duran. 4 turnovers. I think Ivey did too. Even that one turnover, it was the same thing. Cade's responsible. Like, he's guilty of it too. You know, kind of does tries to do his like over the shoulder like flip move. That's not there. He tries to do it again, and they just take the ball away from him. Like literally, they just,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, right? You can do your individual stuff, right? But ideally, right, it's going to be successful because your teammates kind of have a certain level of expectation of what you're going to do.
right.
So that's what I'm trying to get at. Which is why, like, yeah, I'm with you. Can it be ironed out? Yes. But what I was trying to get at is they need to start to kind of be real with themselves about what, you know, is
Yeah,
actually what they can really feasibly do, you know, individually and as a team. So there's that. And then in terms of like my little negative streak here, I did not like Ron Holland's performance at all. As high as I was on him. I think it was very listless, you know.
yeah.
Um
In the second half, for sure.
no, I'd say in the first half too.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know at the end of the day, like he finished with like 10 points very inefficiently.
Yeah, I
Um
think 10,
it's
3,
a
and
lot of the
4.
same thing. Because here's the thing, which is why for me, like as an 18-year-old, he averaged 20 points in the G League. That's no little thing, like, so of course I understand it. I understand. And that's why fans, their criticism, because they will look at his shooting splits. And if it's not pretty, like it's always going to be a thing. I get that.
Right.
It's just for me, I just think like scoring is like icing on the cake with Ron Holland. It definitely, at the very least, for his rookie year, it should be. You know,
Right.
playmaking, or at least secondary playmaker, facilitator, a connective passer, right? Versatile defender. That is what I think he should be bringing to the table, and that is what he should continue doing, right? The reason why I'm not pleased with this performance is because it happens to a lot of players, any players, even veteran players, but especially young players, right?
hmm
You get off to a bad shooting night and then it negatively affects your entire game.
Right.
That to me is what happened tonight, you know, because don't like that final score is misleading. I mean, they got blown out,
Yeah,
They got blown out when it was still like somewhat like, relevant. Like, okay, the
it
Suns are
was
still playing,
third quarter, early third. Yeah,
yeah, right. Like the Suns were still playing. Like they played respectfully. They still played their starters. And what I think they put in like Ron, right? Was it Ron in place of Cade?
I
That's what I'm saying. Again, is the sky falling? No, no.
yeah,
But that's the thing. I want him to know, if he doesn't already, and I'm sure he's already been told by everybody, like same thing. They're not depending on his scoring. Of course, we as fans, as time goes on, yes, we will have higher expectations of the type, of efficiency and volume that he needs to achieve. But for his rookie year, no, just keep gradually building. But all that other stuff that we know you're good at, that is what needs to be consistent. Like I will give him a pass, like on an 0 of 7 from 3 night,
right,
if you're still doing everything we know, like crashing the boards, right? Cutting, playmaking and everything like that, setting screens.
right.
You can't just like, so that's what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, other than that, the defense, because I think all summer we kind of, we believe that this team at the end of the day, like their identity should still be defense.
Mm-hmm.
That is something I think for the remainder, I could care less at this point about the offense.
Yeah,
I know Ivy can score. I know Cade can score. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, right? If I made it seem like their turnovers are a massive problem, my bad. It's just, again, there's a level of efficiency that I think they can achieve. That was my point earlier about the turnovers. But overall, no. I think they may not be like an explosive offense, but they have a good floor. But defensively, I think they definitely need to show us more moving forward.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, considering we're not playing Tobias or Osar yet, I don't
That's
know.
the thing.
I don't think we'll even see it yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we still have to implement them into things. So
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. In terms of, after the game, JB said, "Don't look too, don't read too deeply, into these lineups." Because obviously, like you said, Tobias is not playing, Clintman is not playing, but it's more like trying to find certain, like even just like combinations or pairs that work, because like I said, this is not going to be like the starting lineup they've been using. That's not going to be their starting lineup. It sucks that Asar, because like that could totally change. I believe it's going to change a lot once he comes back, on both ends, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, come back soon.
Right. Yeah. Please get well, get fully healthy for real from blood clots. Like praying for you, bro, for real. But I mean, I don't really have much more to add to that other than I just think it'll get ironed out. And I know you don't like me comparing to Monty, but I don't think he was preaching nothing last year. Like he would.
I don't know.
I like that Bickerstaff is even staggering Cade and Ivy. Monty wasn't doing that. He was like, "Oh, 5 are in. You 5 are out. 5 new are out." He did that literally game in and game out, and people start calling him out on it, and he kept doing it. So there was no, outside of our starters, there was no continuity. And then we do have a plethora of new players now too. So,
to actually end with a little positivity, even if they bleed points, I do like the trio of Ivy, Beasley, and THJ. That's a fun one.
Okay.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
It's a fun one.
Actually,
no, the quartet of Ivy, Beasley, THJ, and Fontecchio. That was a fun look. That was a because that's like ultimate spacing.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, you see Ivy just like streaking down the lane.
Yes.
Because that's what I'm saying, right? Yes, NBA, it's 5-on-5, but let's be real. Ivy's the type of guy that you want to like. You believe he would like kick your ass on one-on-one. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So when he can make it, when he can just isolate one defender, that's pretty. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Play to their strengths. So yeah,
Right.
that's pretty cool. Which is cool. Yeah. Before we close out, the Pistons play again this Friday, again against the Suns. Again, they make their little
Okay.
West Coast preseason trip.
Okay.
So it's against Phoenix, and then Sunday against yours truly's Golden State Warriors.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So at the very least,
We get to
we'll
go see
tap in for
Steph.
one of those games. Probably Sunday. Probably Sunday. You know,
Yeah.
if we have time, if time permits. But yeah, we didn't do it last episode. But let's make this a recurring thing until it's not a possibility. Is this team a play-in team? At the very least,
Right now, I can't even give you an answer right now because we don't have Tobias. If once Tobias
no.
gets
I'm
here,
saying, do you believe the Pistons
oh
are
yeah,
poised to be a play-in? Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
I do.
We're gonna
I
keep
do.
asking that question.
Yeah, but
Because
I
there's going to
still
be the
do.
inevitable highs and lows of a regular season. You know, you might lose 5. You start to lose faith. You know, then you win 5 or something. You know,
Yeah,
so
and I mean, because I don't know, I think everything is gonna change when Tobias gets here. You know what I mean? And Arsar for that much. You know what I mean? So it's hard to, like, if I had to gauge it based on what we've seen in 2 games, I really can't. You know what I mean? Because it's still been a work, but I truly believe in this team. Like I've seen flashes, but I've just not seen enough. Definitely no consistency at all. Like last season was what I tell somebody today. I tweeted it, I think. Last season was an 82 game practice. And a lot of it was just a lot of ISO
yeah,
ball. It was a lot of K bailing us out, dropping 30, dropping 40. It was a lot of, oh, Ivy's not playing the first 10 or whatever games, and then so all of a sudden he's starting to get minutes, and then he's starting to look good. Oh, then Cade goes down, so he's taking the reins. It's like we just need a whole clean slate. We don't need no injuries. We need JB to do what he's been doing with the rotations, because it's night and day from what was going on last year. We don't need all the roster confusion. We don't need the vets that don't want to be here getting traded in. So this season needs to strictly be about what and who is about Detroit, what and who within the personnel basically on our team is buying in. If you're not, then you got to go. Like we don't have time to keep on developing and building like this. Okay, Trajan said we're developing. Okay, we're developing, but we need about we need a leap and a bound. Damn it, if not 3 of them. You know what I mean? Because this team
and again,
has
okay,
been together for 2 plus going on 3 years, depending on who you point out. And it's time to see some results. And I think I truly believe we will. Just seeing pretty much what's going on now, at least on one end right now. And I'm sure they'll shore it up on defense. It's just figuring out, well, for one, having a better starting lineup for one.
yeah. I
And
mean, again, yeah.
yeah,
Once those guys come back from their respective maladies,
yeah,
I'm sure it'll look even better. But I'm totally in agreement. Yeah, as we close now, I'm totally in agreement. And that's why if it seems like I'm hard on these guys,
you're not. You calling
no,
out
but
stuff.
no, thank you. No, it's just like I just remember what my coaches would tell me when I was like young, like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
young days, like junior high days,
It's
right?
You point out
They would
stuff
always
to
say,
watch for.
no, it's like they would always say, like, if it seems like we're hard on you, it's because we believe
Right.
you're capable of doing a lot of great things. If you
Yeah.
didn't, then it's right. It's what they all say, right? If I don't yell at you, then that means we don't believe in you.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm with you. They do. I mean, again, whatever. If you're not winning a championship, it's fine, right? It's still development. But in that development, I'm with you. Yeah, those leaps, those guys that we keep singling out, who,
Mhm.
even Cade included. I understand he signed that contract, but all the more reason,
Mhm.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. Assuming, if Phoenix plays their starting lineup again, even just for the first half, I think it's really good because I want it all the more reason, right? We just seen what the Pistons, even though this is not our our opening day lineup. It's just it's a good opportunity, like almost like kind of like a playoff
Yeah.
setting, right? You have an opportunity to see if you can make the adjustments, to see if you can correct what you did
Right.
badly or poorly in the previous game. So this would be good. It's part, again, player development, growth. So,
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gents. On to
Yes.
the next.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, we'll see y'all Friday or Sunday. One of the 2 days. We'll see what day has the most freedom. And because what's that? What's going on with the we'll see. Y'all guys stay tuned in though. So make sure y'all tune in for that game Friday. And then we go see Steph in the Golden Warriors, the Golden State Warriors over there
In the
Sunday.
bay.
Yeah.
In the bay.
Yeah.
Back in
So
my backyard. There you
follow the stories because Khan just laid it out for us. Like, this is the blueprint for what the Pistons need to improve upon. So let's watch the story unfold this season because it's time for them to start writing chapters instead of leaving pages blank for sure.
go. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
But with that
You
being
gotta make that
said,
into a
y'all,
shirt.
you remember it?
Yeah, man.
You gotta text it to me because I'm about
Uh,
to already forget. It's almost sleepy time. It's sleepy. No, it is sleepy time.
yeah.
But yeah, y'all see the names down here. Make sure y'all follow us on Twitter. Oh yeah, and the little where's my hand? Yeah, Pistons League. Yeah, that's the account that we push the
That's right.
Piston stuff from the most. At EMW_pod. Yeah, so just be on the lookout, Pistons fans. We here, and yeah, good night.
Take care.